Marvel is not happy with Phase 4 and plans to make big changes, for 5 and 6. Well, I tell you this, we are in agreement, aren't we, Marvel? You are in agreement with your fans. If you had listened to us in the beginning, and course corrected then, you'd be up billions of dollars and we'd all be happy. Yeah, let's check this out, see what the Wonder has to tell us. See what scoops he's got.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and it looks like we could be seeing some pretty big changes coming from Marvel Studios. If you haven't somehow heard, Disney has fired their CEO, Bob Chapek. And in doing so, they actually brought back the former CEO before Bob Chapek, Bob Iger. They decided to do this because the board of directors and the shareholders weren't very pleased with the direction that Disney was going. And they weren't very pleased with the performances of some things like Disney Plus. So we knew with this announcement and Bob Iger coming back that there would probably be some changes to Marvel Studios, at least a little bit. And it seems like we were right. According to some sources, which we'll dive into in a bit, Marvel is a little bit unhappy with how Phase 4 turned out. I'm sure some fans can relate here.
I'm sure
I've
there's
heard
a lot
many
of
different opinions over the course of Phase 4, and especially now that it's ended, I've heard it all, from I hate it to I loved it to it's just kind of meh. No one's wrong, no one's right, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. However, this was truly a different phase for Marvel Studios with the involvement and the inclusion of Disney Plus. Marvel Studios was completely changed, and some of it probably wasn't by choice. With the announcement of Disney Plus and Marvel Studios now making shows, I'm sure Kevin Feige was excited about making some shows. However, rumor has it, and this is just a rumor, but rumor has it that Bob Chapek was having them pump out a lot of content on Disney Plus to get the subscribers up for Disney Plus. This would probably explain why Marvel Studios over Phase 4 felt like it was more quantity over quality. And apparently, that's how Bob Iger sees it, and there are about to be some pretty big changes coming to Marvel Studios and Disney Plus. This could impact Phase 5, but it could really impact Phase 6. Because apparently, right now, Marvel Studios is taking preventative measures to assure quality control moving forward with Phase 5 and Phase 6 and simply the future. Now, today's report is coming from some inside sources over at Marvel and Disney from thecosmiccircus.com. Now, I'm going to read some of this article, and I want you all to really listen to it and tell me what you think about it. I am genuinely curious to hear everybody's reaction.
Okay, you got it.
Starts off by stating Marvel Studios and the problem with oversaturation. Marvel's success back when it was developing and rolling out the Infinity Saga was partly due to the way Marvel paced itself with its releases. In a span of 11 years, they released 23 films that explored the MCU with the Infinity Saga. But in comparison, Phase 4 has had 19 projects alone, one after another, over the span of 2 years. 8 Disney Plus series, 7 theatrical releases, and 2 Disney Plus
but they were all,
and
most
course,
of them were
the
crap.
Legends and
That's the
Time
problem.
Shorts. This great
Or just
overflow
meh.
of projects then branches out as a series of other issues with how Marvel has handled Phase 4. First and foremost, a significant part of the audience feels there is an oversaturation of Marvel currently. Not having a rest period between projects makes it hard for fans to keep up with the saga, and interest in future projects begins to grow stale. This is likely due to not allowing fans to garner enough anticipation towards the next upcoming project. So here I truly want to know from you, do you think Marvel has put out too much?
No.
I have personally heard a lot of fans tell me in live streams that they're not excited for upcoming Marvel projects, and they are
too much
skipping
woke
on
shit.
some projects. Do you think this is partially due to the fact that Marvel Studios is releasing so many projects right after another?
It just
and of
wasn't
course, there
good.
is also an issue of quality. Having too many
meh
projects released at
to
once
sucks.
spreads the production workforce thin. We've heard a lot about these rumors about Marvel employees and Disney employees have been working way overtime and not really getting compensated too well for it. They're basically overworked because they have to do 19 Marvel projects in the course of 2 years, and now we have many more coming as well. Of course, this leads to quality issues. So, Marvel and Disney, are they going to do something about it? Well, it sounds like they are moving forward with Phase 5 and Phase 6. The Cosmic Circus states that they have received a word from their sources that Marvel Studios is currently re-evaluating its release lineup for Phase 5 and 6. As Phase 4
It's not the release dates. It's the content of what's inside these movies and television shows.
And quality. Now, I love Marvel. Obviously, you all know that. But even I can admit that sometimes the quality just wasn't there. And I'm not just talking about CGI, but I'm also talking about writing. Sometimes I felt like the writing just could have been better. But now that Marvel is reevaluating, it actually kind of gives me some relief. Not because I think that they were doing too much or that Phase 4 sucked, but simply due to the fact that I think it's good that Marvel Studios is listening to feedback. Now, of course, we have to talk about the big issue. What does this exactly mean for Phase 5 and Phase 6? If they're not going to put out so much content, how does that affect the release schedule? And of course, everybody's wondering now, is Phase 5 and Phase 6 going to essentially be delayed because they're going to spread out these projects over a longer period of time? Now, there's good news and there's bad news that comes with this. The good news is the sources have stated projects already in post-production are still set for release at this time, and the main focus of the reevaluation will be on projects still in pre-production stage. This means that
they
most
made some
of
crap
Phase
already
5 is probably
ready to
going
release.
to be okay, but there is a possibility that the latter half of Phase 5 could get pushed back a little bit, and the bad news is Phase 6 is definitely up for some reevaluation. Here is something that the Cosmic Circus has been told. They said sources say to expect shifts in release schedules for some projects, changes in media formats for others, and in the most extreme, but unlikely, and this is the good news, postponement or outright cancellation of a project that would not be suited towards the overall story of the Multiverse Saga. So that right there, that's the good news. It says that it's very unlikely that we'll see any cancellation of any movie or show or special. However, what is really interesting is that they mention changes in media formats for others. Changes in media formats means a movie shifting to a Disney Plus show, a Disney Plus show shifting to a movie, or perhaps a Disney Plus show shifting to a special presentation, which I actually think is a pretty good idea. I'm also for, and Marvel if you're listening, I think a lot of fans are too, Marvel Studios releasing shows all at once rather than releasing new episodes each week. I know She-Hulk has very, very mixed opinions, but I think, personally, that She-Hulk would have been enjoyed much more if we could have binged it. To me, it just wasn't a show that you got excited for and anticipated each week.
Not.
And each week, a lot of fans were let down and not looking forward to the next episodes. But I feel if we could have binged it, it would have been a little bit more enjoyable. And for those who feel like they wasted their time waiting week,
they talk trash to the fans too much.
Get good in their opinion.
It was stupid.
I feel like you'd feel less like your time was wasted
work.
if you could watch it all at once. But it has also been noted that the idea of special presentations has gained a lot more traction over at Marvel Studios. So if I had to guess, I think some Disney Plus shows will most likely be turned into special presentations. And when it comes to introducing new characters, I actually think special presentations in a lot of cases would be the way to go. I think it was great for Werewolf by Night. I think the holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy was really great. Although no main characters were introduced. We were introduced to Cosmo the dog. But there's rumors that a Nova project and a Silver Surfer project could be coming in the form of a special presentation. And I think introducing Nova in a special presentation and then the Silver Surfer in another would be a really good idea. Then you could have them be in other movies or give them their own movie. But special presentations will most likely be 40 minutes to about an hour long each time, which is well enough time to introduce a new character and tell a story. So hopefully if we do see some drastic changes, we'll only see Disney Plus shows turned into special presentations or movies. They've already turned Armor Wars from a Disney Plus show into a movie, so that'll most likely be the route they go. But fingers crossed they don't actually cancel or delay anything too much. But please, leave your comments down below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Marvel Studios should slow down and focus on quality over quantity, or do you think they've been okay so far? Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things relating to the MCU. For live updates, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Wolf love.
Yeah. Disney knows what they need to do. Disney and Marvel know exactly what they need to do. Stop woking everything up. Take it back to what you were doing. Alright? When you first started the Infinity Saga. And everything will be fine. It's a very simple, quick fix. And we all know this. You know what you need to do to stop losing money. You know what you're going to do. You know what you need to do because everything's going to implode. Everything's going to implode as long as you continue down this road. Because most of the fans don't want it. Most of the fans want the characters that they've grown to love. Most of the fans want you to stop changing everything about the characters. From where they're from whatever race they are that they knew them as, from their sexual orientation. All that stuff, keep it the same. Bring in new characters with different sexual orientations and everything else that you want to change. Stop changing the ones that everyone have grew up with, that everyone has bonded with, that's part of their main escapism, that they truly feel is, that character is a part of them. Stop changing them up and you'll make more money hand over fist. We all know this, all right? There's nothing wrong with diversity, but when you're changing it all up, it's like, huh? And that shit rarely works. Like, the one thing that I can think of is it worked with, like, when you've changed a character fundamentally, it always goes to that. But Bumblebee worked in the Transformers. He was a Volkswagen Bug and a Beetle, and he wasn't as aggressive and that great of a fighter like he was in G1. That change right there to that character really made him a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't happen a lot. You see the anger and everything that the fans have to say about all these changes that you're making to all these characters fundamentally. Like, it's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a shot in the dark every single time. What did it work with? Worked with Blade, right? Blade didn't really look like that in the comics, right? I wasn't a huge Blade fan. When I was a Spider-Man, I was collecting Spider-Man and something like that. I mainly collected Spider-Man when I was a kid, so I don't remember seeing Blade. As a matter of fact, I don't remember seeing Blade until the cartoon, the 90s cartoon. Spider-Man, and he didn't look like the Blade from the movie, so yeah, so maybe that one worked, but I'm just like, whatever. Post comments down below. Let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And Disney Marvel, go back to what you was doing. 10 million subscribers. Woo!